Okay, something different today. This is Mr. Little, who has a small YouTube channel and is currently in Alaska living in the Ford that he is pointing at. He is facing felony charges, has a public defender, but isn't happy. You have 5 people: judge, defendant Mr. Little, his attorney Caitlin, the prosecution attorney Mr. Olson, and when it's blank it's the clerk. The reason I'm showing this is for 2 stupid decisions that the defendant has made. He decided to waive his right to have a private hearing because there were 2 guests that he brought into the call. And secondly, he decided to publish it on the internet. And of course, the prosecution can now use anything that was said during this confidential hearing between the judge and the defendant and his attorney. Right, I'll let it play. Speak to you at the end.
If you have other people that are third parties on the phone when you're talking about conversations you've had with your lawyer, you're waiving your attorney-client privilege. You can do that if you want. It's up to you. But if they're on the phone, you have no longer your conversation with Ms. McFadden, whatever it's been so far, anything we talk about, not going to be privileged. You understand? On the phone?
Cody Little, Your Honor.
Mr. Little, okay? This is 3KO 22-116, felony 83, misconduct. And this was indicated that it's going to trial. So state ready for trial? I'm just checking, Your Honor. 1 moment.
It was on for representation hearing on Monday. And we were going to read.
That's right. Okay, so do we still need a representation hearing at this point?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay, and we we had Ms. McFadden here, but no one showed up from the state, and we didn't have Mr. Little. So we need to take up the representation issue. So, Mr. Little, I'm going to have you stay on the phone while I finish this out, and then we're going to take that up, and I'll excuse the state at that time, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. Are you prepared to do that today, Ms. McFadden?
I just have an appointment at 5:30 that I can't miss. That's the only thing. So if it's
well, I'm not going to go to 5:30.
That's all. That's the only thing I have going on today.
Okay. I understand. We're going to try and get through the rest of these as quickly as we can, but Mr. Little, just hold on to the phone, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Besides Mr. Little?
No.
And Ms. Murray?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilson? No, Your Honor. Mr. Little?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm happy to be excused, Your Honor.
You can go ahead and be excused
Okay.
from this. And Mr. Little, you're still on the phone, right?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk. I'm excusing the district attorney. He's out of the room now. We're going to have a confidential proceeding and make sure that there's nobody else in line except him.
There's 2 other people on the line.
Who else is on the phone, please?
Oh, they can stay on the line. They're on my behalf, Your Honor.
I understand, Mr. Little, but whatever you talk about is going to waive your right to it.
I consent to them. I consent.
Mr. Little,
Yes.
stop speaking and let me explain this to you. This is a legal issue. If you have other people that are third parties on the phone when you're talking about conversations you've had with your lawyer, you're waiving your attorney-client privilege. You can do that if you want. It's up to you. But if they're on the phone, you have no longer your conversation with Ms. McFadden, whatever it's been so far, anything we talk about, not going to be privileged. You understand?
I consent.
Okay. Ms. McFadden, set this up for me so that I can understand. And Madam Clerk, we've got a confidential record right now.
No, I'll have to stop it.
Okay, we've got to make a confidential record anyway. It seems to be a little bit unnecessary given what he's doing, but okay, we have a confidential record. We're outside the presence of the state at this point. I have Ms. McFadden, Ms. Murray from the Public Defender's Office. Mr. Little is on the phone with 2 persons who he says he wants to have on the phone, whose identities are unknown to the court. And he's assenting to doing the representation hearing with other people listening in. So, Ms. McFadden, help me understand why I'm here.
Thank you. So my understanding is that Mr. Little does have some concerns about my representation of him, namely getting the discovery, but then he also would like to represent himself.
Let's.
Mr. Little?
I'd like to respond to that. I don't want to represent myself, Your Honor. What I've been asking Caitlin for is the discovery in my case, the video and audio evidence, the media. And she has yet to, as far as I know, the prosecutor has provided it, and she is withholding it from me.
I'm sorry, she's what? You're muffled, sir.
She's withholding it from me.
Okay. Okay, Ms. McFadden?
So the policy of the Public Defender Agency is that we do not turn over any sort of media or digital discovery. It was redacted in his case, and it took our office quite a bit of time to redact it because there's a lot of, I guess, just different things that have to be taken out of audio and video. It has been redacted. It's been mailed to the Palmer office because Mr. Little lives in the Mat-Su, and I received confirmation.
I live in Idaho, Your Honor.
Well, you picked up your paper discovery at the Palmer Public Defenders.
Yes, I live in Idaho. I maintain my Idaho residence. I'm an Idaho resident.
Mr. Little, hang on a second, Mr. Little. What she's saying is that they're sending the stuff that you want to Palmer. Are you in Idaho or are you in Alaska?
No, I'm in Alaska. But I'm an
Okay,
Idaho
well,
resident.
all right.
I'm living out of my F-150 pickup.
Hang on. Just hang on. You're saying you don't have the digital discovery to review. What Ms. McFadden is telling me
I don't
is
understand why it's redacted either. I have the right to discovery, which is all of discovery unredacted.
Okay, Ms. McFadden.
So we will not send that out. We send out redacted discovery.
How is it redacted?
Per the court rules. It's redacted in accordance with the court rules. So my understanding is that complaining witnesses' contact information is blacked out. Identifying information such as house numbers and license plate numbers are blurred. And so it's in compliance with the Alaska court rules because it's leaving.
It's all public record. I don't understand why it's redacted. It makes no sense.
Hold on, Cody. Hold on. I'm just explaining it. Which is
Ridiculous.
Why
Policy does not trump law. I have the right to discovery. Constitutional United States right to discovery. Unredacted.
Cody, if you want to represent yourself...
No, I don't want to represent myself. I want you to do your job, Caitlin.
Mr. Little.
At this point in time, I want to assert and exercise my Sixth Amendment right under the United States Constitution to a speedy trial. So I want to get the clock started today, right now. What is it, 120 days?
Okay.
But I also want to exercise my right to discovery. All of the discovery, unredacted. I want the evidence that they are going to use against me in court presented to me. I've had deals offered, and I can't accept a deal if I haven't seen the evidence against me, and I'm maintaining my innocence. I was attacked. My door was kicked in. Eric Lernoff attacked me, and I pulled my weapon.
Okay.
I pulled my weapon, and then he f***ed off, and that's what happened.
Cody.
No. Okay, go.
Okay.
I said my piece.
Little, hang on a second. Mr. Little, hang on a second.
I'm exercising my rights, Your Honor.
I understand what you're doing. I just
want
need to talk
my
about
discovery.
it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You have to listen to me now. Okay? So now I'm going to talk.
Well, I've been interrupted the whole time. I just, and it's on.
Mr. Little, you've been waiting, and I understand that. I'm understanding what your concerns
No, not waiting.
are.
I've been interrupted by you and by Caitlin.
I am. Mr. Little, if you keep interrupting me, I'm not going to get this finished today.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Go ahead.
I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying that you don't want to waive any speedy trial time. That means your case can go to trial in August if you want to be represented by the Public Defender Agency. That's fine. Here's what happens. When I appoint the Public Defender Agency, I appoint the agency. The agency assigns the attorney. I don't have any authority to decide who's the assigned attorney, okay? That's the first thing you need to know. That's up to them. Ms. McFadden's your attorney. Second, the things that you get to decide are whether or not you go to trial, whether or not you take an offer, and whether or not, when you're represented, and whether or not you testify. Those are the three things you get to decide. Okay? You understand?
No, I don't understand, Your Honor, because I thought we were
Three things
talking
that you
about
can-
my right to discovery. I have the right to discovery, so where's that in there?
Mr. Little, stop. I'm telling you right now, when you have an attorney, the attorney makes all the tactical decisions. Now, I'm not even talking about discovery right now. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But the three things you get to that you get to decide that are within your power are whether or not you testify, whether or not you go to trial, and whether or not you take a deal. Those are the three things you get to decide. Your lawyer makes all the strategic decisions for you. Okay? So that's just the law. That's the way it works. And that's past constitutional muster. So I can assure you of those things. Okay? So whether or not you testify, that's up to you. Whether or not you go to trial, that's up to you. And whether you take a deal, that's up to you. Now, this other piece that you're talking about, which is your right to discovery, you have a right to the substance of the discovery, but you don't necessarily have a right to information that has to do with identity of individuals other than their names, if it has to do with their addresses, their social security numbers, their dates of birth, stuff that could be used for identity theft. Okay? And the law protects that information when it leaves the public defender agency, and they are obliged to keep that information out. The substance of what's being said by people and who they are, all that information you would have when they redact it. They only redact that type of information, which could be, if it was dispersed beyond you, used to steal somebody's identity. That's just one of the perils of the modern age. Okay? So you get to listen to and look at the discovery with Ms. McFadden, and she's sending it to the office in Palmer. Okay? You understand?
So she's had 2 months to do it, and it's still not there? So no, I don't understand, is what I'm saying. I don't understand where it's at.
Well, Mr. Little, it's not, you're not working in a vacuum here. Ms. McFadden earlier represented to me in one of the cases, this is one of 170 cases she has. And all of the public defenders are equally overtaxed by the number of cases that they have. So they have to make choices about which cases they address first. And it just takes time. That's one of the things that happens. But when you say that you don't want to waive your right to speedy trial,
I don't,
they have
and I
to
won't
honor
waive it
that,
anymore.
and they have to get you ready for trial. That's what happens. So the question today is, if you want to be represented by them, you understand I can't appoint another attorney for you. It's Ms. McFadden. She's the one who does this. She's going to make all the strategic decisions in your case, and she's working to get you the discovery so you can review it. And then you can decide about
She's had
whether or not
over
you want
a
to take
year,
it off.
Your Honor. She's
I
had over
understand that
a
a lot
year.
of-
I've been living out of my pickup since last September. She's had over a year to produce the discovery, and I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I've seen some paperwork.
Okay.
I've seen police reports. I haven't seen the video.
Oh, and now it's coming to you, and you said it's arrived at the Palmer office, Ms. McFadden.
I received confirmation earlier today that it arrived at the Palmer office.
So can you go to the Palmer office and pick it up, Mr. Little?
Yeah, I can do that. Yep.
Okay. All right.
It's still on record
So-
that I am asserting my Sixth Amendment right to speedy trial, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set your case for trial in September, or not September, in August, on August 7th, and we're going to have another hearing next week, and I'll do this when Mr. Olson comes back in, because he's got to come back in, so I can give him the new date. But with respect to representation, you'll be represented by Ms. McFadden, and then next week you'll tell me what you want to do. She'll tell me what's going on with being ready for trial on August 7th. So that's what's going to happen, okay?
Yes.
And you're going to be able to go get the discovery and look at it.
Yeah, that should be no problem.
Okay? So, Ms. McFadden, can we go off the confidential record?
That's fine.
Okay, we'll go off the confidential record. We'll go back on the public record.
Okay, once I went back on the public record, there wasn't really anything of interest apart from the snippet that follows me speaking now.
Hold on, I'm just curious.
And-
What's going on Wednesday? What are we doing Wednesday?
Wednesday is a trial call. I'm going to hear any motions in limine, and we'll find out trial priority because there's more than one case set to start trial on August 7th, and I have to deal with that, and I'll be doing that as we go forward, sir. And
All
there'll
right.
be trial calls each week on Wednesday until you get to trial.
All right, I can't wait to prove my innocence. All right, and to prove the constitutional violations by the Kodiak police. They
You can talk.
They talked about it in their police report. I can't wait to get the video. It's going to be great.
Now, I have my doubts that this guy is going to accept any plea deal, so we're probably going to have a trial. Whether we get a recording of that, I don't know, but it's quite interesting, and I'll try and keep you updated on the progress. Thanks for watching.